The Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. Atlanta Hawks dismantled the Knicks yesterday, 113-96. And here's what we always knew. We knew that going into this postseason, the Knicks had been the most surprising team in the NBA. This has been just an incredible story. A team that finished as the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. We had our doubts about them, let alone not only finishing as the 4th seed, but even making the playoffs. Most people didn't even have them making the playoffs at all. And despite all that, the reality is this: the New York Knicks just aren't a good basketball team. They really aren't. And that's not meant to be an insult. They rely solely on their grit and their toughness. And I love the rejuvenation of Derrick Rose at age 32, playing like his pre-ACL days in Chicago, his pre-ACL and MVP days in Chicago in 2011. I mean, Derrick Rose this postseason has been the most consistent and, quite frankly, the best player for the New York Knicks this postseason, averaging 24 points a game. Julius Randle has been a tremendous story. He used to be a Laker. Happy for him and he deserved to win the NBA's most improved player, but he's been a shell of himself this postseason. Regular season, averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, but more importantly, shot at 46.5% from the floor, 41% from the three-point line. This postseason, he's averaging a hair under 15 points per game. Yes, he's averaging 12 rebounds, which is a couple ticks up, but 3 assists. But this is the staggering stat. He's shooting an abysmal 24% from the floor and 31% from the three-point line. And unfortunately, that's really been the difference in the series, because this team, unfortunately, is kind of like a washed-up version of the 2011 Bulls. You have Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, Tom Thibodeau. I mean, and you look at, and it's no knock on that team because they reached the Eastern Conference Finals. But you look at this New York Knicks team, you're spearheaded by Rose, Randall, a second-year player in R.J. Barrett, a rookie in Emmanuel Quickley, an aged Taj Gibson that still brings fight, and Alec Burks, who I thought used to be in Utah. And now he's with the Knicks, and I like Alec Burks. I always loved Alec Burks. But this team shouldn't have made the playoffs. But they did. To their credit, they did make the postseason. But the Atlanta Hawks are by far the superior team. It is not even close. And what's exacerbated the issue and has highlighted the large gap and the disparity between both these teams is the star play. Trae Young has been playing like a star and has emerged as a superstar in this postseason. And Julius Randle has unfortunately kind of been reduced down to who he was maybe in the first couple years in the league. Trae Young's averaging 28 points per game. Randle, again, a little bit below 15 points per game. And the Hawks have been able to shoot it so much better. I mean, the Knicks can't buy a bucket on the road. The Atlanta Hawks shot 38.5% from the three-point line yesterday. The Knicks shot 31%. You have Danilo Gallinari contributing with 21 points. John Collins with his best game of the postseason of 22. Again, Trae Young with 28. Bogdanovich was big with 4 or 5, 4 3-pointers for the Atlanta Hawks. Kevin Huerter came in and chipped in 3 of 5 from the three-point line. So the shooting display is just so much better, head and shoulders better for the Atlanta Hawks than it is for the New York Knicks. And that's been the difference. One team has been able to shoot, and their star has played like a star in the Atlanta Hawks. The other team can't shoot, and their star continues to struggle in Julius Randle and the Knicks. And this has kind of been their calling cards all season. The Atlanta Hawks, what were they known for? Their offense. They couldn't defend a lick in the regular season. Well, they're starting to defend a little bit better. The New York Knicks, what were they known for all season? Their defense. And they haven't been able to defend as well, and their offense has been struggling. Their best player has not been playing well. I don't care what the stats say yesterday. Yes, Randall had 23, 10, and 7. but 7 of 19 from the floor. This was not the same type of efficient game that he's had that we're accustomed to seeing. And the biggest concern, the biggest reservation that I have is I don't think the New York Knicks can win a game on the road this postseason. I think that they'll come back to the Garden, which, by the way, has just been the best venue in the postseason this year. I mean, the electricity and the juice and the energy that's been shown in that building has been unrivaled, in my opinion, this postseason in any other arena. Maybe the Phoenix Suns was close. They've had a lot of energy in that building. But Madison Square Garden has just been the ultimate atmosphere to play, and tremendous credit to that fan base for showing up and showing out because their Knicks needed it. And I think that ultimately they'll muster up the courage and they'll take game 5 at home for that crowd, but I don't see them going down to the ATL and collecting a win. I don't see them being able to transfer that consistency at home, that energy from home, and insert it on the road. I just don't see them being able to win another game on the road. And I think the Atlanta Hawks will probably close this out in 6. And again, I thought the Knicks would initially win in 7 because they could rely on their defense and because of that grit and that toughness and the fact that they had home court. I wasn't sure if the Atlanta Hawks could win a game on the road. I figured every team would probably win at home. And that obviously hasn't been the case. And I think that Atlanta now they sent I mean, they've just played like the better team. They should have won game 2 in New York. They blew a lead there. And then obviously they destroyed the Knicks in games 3 and 4. So, I mean, these the Knicks offense just has looked anemic without Randall playing really well. I mean, Derrick Rose again is the only guy to provide some type of spark for him. So they're going to need a lot more than just that if they want to actually make some noise and extend this series. They're going to need much more than that.